So I feel like all of us have a movie that we watched as a child and we're like, why is that a kid's movie? That's way too traumatizing. And I'm not talking about like not kids movies that we shouldn't have watched. Like I watched The Blob when I was little and it actually like I think I had nightmares for months. I shouldn't have been watching The Blob at like what, 7 maybe? I was like 7 or younger. I actually might have been like 5. I shouldn't have watched that movie because it traumatized me for months, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about kids movies that they say, oh, come watch this, it's gonna be a great time, and then it literally like still traumatizes me as an adult. So I thought it'd be fun to make a list of the top 5 scariest kids movies, at least the ones that I've seen. I don't remember watching a lot of scary movies as a child, and some of the ones on this list are not scary at all, but they all had a piece of horror for me when I was little. And some of the ones on this list would probably scare me now. So it is funny to me, the idea of a horror movie for a child, because like I was a kid who did like horror when I was little. I just like, it was a lesser kind of horror. Like I thought The Grinch was really neat because I was scared of The Grinch. I remember on my street when I lived in California, someone would put up an inflatable Grinch at Christmas and I would like be scared of the Grinch and I'd get so excited to go past the Grinch because I thought it was scary. Like the idea of horror when you're little is a lot less. But I loved it. So the idea of making a horror movie for kids is interesting because I do think there are kids who would like to watch more mystery horror, whatever you want to call it. Definitely some of the movies I'm going to name today should not be movies for kids in my opinion. I think all of these are considered kids movies. Yeah, maybe don't watch them if you're a child and you don't want to be scared like I was.
You hear that?
Okay, the first one is not scary. It's Scooby Doo, which Scooby Doo is clearly not a horror movie. If you look up like mystery horror for kids, it would probably come up. And it's monsters. It is a mystery. I think like what I was saying earlier, this is the type of horror that kids can handle of like, oh no, I'm stuck around monsters. I remember being a little freaked out with just like the island being a trap. You know, the leader was actually evil and there was this scary thing going on. And then there's like the goblins that take over people and it was like, what the crap am I watching? I also watched this movie really young. There's definitely some adult jokes in it. There's definitely some scarier moments in it. I would not consider Scooby-Doo scary at all now, but I remember watching it young. I did get a little freaked out by the goblins and like the taking over and the weird rituals. I think just the island being a trap kind of freaked me out a little bit, but this movie is so great. I mean, Scooby-Doo is like one of the best movies ever and I'm definitely gonna make my kids watch it one day, so sorry, they're gonna be scared too. I don't think it's that scary. That's why it's last on this list, because it's not scary, but it is considered a kid's movie, I believe. Little Samantha definitely had her time of being freaked out by the monsters in Scooby-Doo.
And what did Santa bring you, honey?
At number 4, I have The Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know if this is actually a kid's movie, and to be completely honest, I don't love the movie. I have seen this movie, but this is the only movie on the list that I didn't actually watch as a kid. I think I watched it when I was like 18. I know a lot of people who grew up with that movie and watched it when they were kids. It's like a horror land, Halloween land, so you'd expect like monsters and whatnot. The main character's not scary, Jack Skellington. The boogeyman, I didn't find scary, but I also didn't watch it when I was a kid, and I know that some people have been freaked out by this movie, and I could see how this one would be scary if you were a child. There's a lot of gross little like props in it too, like they're carrying like pieces of people or whatever, and the boogeyman being made of like bugs is kind of disgusting. So this one didn't scare me just because I didn't watch it when I was a kid. I think it definitely would have, because I was scared of the Grinch, and the Grinch is not scary at all. So Jack Skellington and the boogeyman, I mean, the boogeyman is like a classic like beware of the boogeyman kind of thing, so I could see how this one would traumatize people. I'm just not that huge a fan of the movie, unfortunately. But I do think that it would be scary for kids to watch, and I definitely think it's more scary than Scooby Doo.
Are you okay? Oh man, did I hit somebody?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, now we're getting into the ones that actually did scare me when I was little. At number 3, I have the Spiderwick Chronicles, which I don't know how popular this movie is, but this one was my childhood. I remember watching this one and just loving it. I think the idea of the kids going through this thing and like the mom doesn't really believe it, and there's ogres coming after them, and like you can't see them, and they're all attacking him because he's this book. I remember being really freaked out when the circle around the house didn't work anymore because he lost the page. I have seen this one quite a few times, most of them being in my childhood, and I remember really liking this movie. Feeling trapped in the house and like if you leave, you're gonna get attacked by something you can't see, really scared me when I was little. I was definitely scared of this movie. I think it's a really good movie, though. I wouldn't say this one is too mature for me as a kid. I think I would have nightmares about this one, just being stuck in the house. There is a little bit of a fantasy, goofy element to it. I do think it's a really good movie. I would definitely watch it again. I think this is the one I've watched the most recently out of all the ones on this list because I watched it a few years ago, I think. But it's pretty good. I would actually recommend it if you haven't seen it. I don't know how popular it is, but I think it's not as popular as some of the other ones that I have listed here.
I'm getting Judy! No! Judy!
At number 2, I have Monster House. This movie was really scary for me when I was little. Like, I had nightmares about the neighbor, obviously about the house, about like the whole story with the woman in the circus and just like them being trapped with the little girl on her bike. Like, this is a horror movie for kids. I feel like this one actually would be considered horror for a child because it's set on Halloween. It's a monster, it's a house, it's a scary neighbor. What else do you need for a kid's horror movie? But this one I've seen numerous times. Definitely watched it probably a little bit too young. And I feel like there's always a piece of me that when I watch this, which I haven't watched in a while, but when I watch it, I have that fear that I had when I was a child. I probably wouldn't be scared by this movie now, but there's a piece of my child that will always be scared of the house and the neighbor. Honestly, maybe more the neighbor. He really freaked me out. I know he was good at the end, but still, I don't know. But Monster House, definitely a horror movie for kids. Definitely watched it too young, but I think it's fun, and I would watch it now. I also feel like this one's not very popular. Like, did anyone else watch this one? I watched it a lot. Like, I think maybe out of all the ones on the list, I've seen this one the most. So, yeah, that's tough.
So we let her sew the buttons. She said that she loved us, but she locked us here and ate up our lives.
So I think a lot of people can agree that this is one of the scariest kids' horror movies of all time. I have seen the movie once. I was a kid, and that was enough. So I have not watched it since I saw it the first time. I mean, of course you've got the vortex to the other world and the scary mom spider and whatnot. Yes, I'm saying all this from memory of like 15 years ago. Can we just talk about the buttons being sewn into my eyes? Like, what the crap? Like, why are we talking about that in a kid's movie? This movie is genuinely scary. Like, it's like freaky. I remember being so scared about getting the buttons sewn into my eyes, and then just throw in a couple ghost children talking about buttons sewn into their eyes, and then you've got a great horror movie for children. I think this one is genuinely listed as a movie for kids. So that's why I'm like, this would scare me now. Like, again, I have not watched this movie since I saw it the first time. I would actually love to do a reaction to this movie watching it now, because all I remember is just the fear of the mom spider coming after me wanting to sew buttons into my eyes. I don't remember it completely. I don't remember the whole storyline. I'm pretty sure Coraline has issues with her family in the real world, and she travels to the other world where they're nice, and then, chasing you with buttons and needles and spider legs, as one does. I feel like this would scare adults. Like, there's no way this is actually a kid's movie. Whoever made this movie really wanted to just like traumatize a generation of children, and I think they succeeded in that. So, congratulations. Coraline is maybe one of the scariest children's movies I've ever seen. And if that was the goal, then I think a lot of people got traumatized from that movie. But that was my list of children's movies that scared me as a child, at least. Whether a little bit, whether a lot. They're all pretty fun, though, I think. Except Coraline. Again, I've only seen that once. But let me know if there's any other children's horror movies that I didn't name that I haven't watched. Maybe I'll watch them. Maybe I'll see if they're scary. They probably won't be. Unless they're Coraline, I probably won't be scared by it. But anyway, that's it for today. Goodbye.